Welcome to this audio walkthrough of the BT Speak Clipboard facility. This is a universal clipboard, which means it can be used in the editor, in traditional app input prompts, that might include the calculator, Wikipedia search, YouTube search, and also in desktop apps, in edit fields such as in Firefox, Chromium, Thunderbird, and of course text editors or LibreOffice. The clipboard is textual and can hold text information, markdown text, and Braille. The main focus of this walkthrough is on the new control keys that are consistent across the BT Speak. If you've been using your BT Speak for a while, you will be aware that there are other ways to perform some of these commands, such as chords in combination with .8, and also the delete and paste menus. We'll allude to these, but overall we encourage people to use the control characters where they can, as in a future release we may free up some of the older key assignments. We'll start with an overview of the clipboard facility and the various commands, and then we'll go to a proper demo. As with most clipboards, you can use familiar control keys to perform clipboard operations. The easiest way to generate control characters on the BT Speak is to type the letter with dots 7 and 8. Or if you prefer, you can type Xchord followed by the letter. Everywhere you can use Ctrl-C to copy, Ctrl-V to paste, and Ctrl-X to cut. In traditional mode prompts, you can also use Ctrl-D or Ctrl-K to clear the line. And in the editor, you have a few more options. You can use Ctrl-A to select all. This puts a mark at the top of the document and moves your cursor to the bottom of it. Ctrl-C to copy. You can also use Ctrl-D to delete a block of text or the current line. You can type Ctrl-K or Ctrl-X to cut when you're in the main editor window, Ctrl-V to paste, and you also have Ctrl-Z to undo and Ctrl-Y to redo. So in the editor there is Ctrl-A for select all, Ctrl-C for copy, Ctrl-D for delete, Ctrl-K for cut, Ctrl-V for paste, Ctrl-X also for cut, Ctrl-Y to redo, and Ctrl-Z to undo. A special feature of the BT Speak clipboard is its automatic on-the-fly Braille forward and back translation. Let me give you some examples. If you're in a Braille file in the editor and you create a mark and move your cursor to generate a selected block, if you copy that block, it will be stored in Braille and also in text. If you then go to another text file in the editor and paste, a text version of your selection will be pasted in the target document. Similarly, if you're preparing an email in a Braille file and you select the text and copy it to the clipboard, if you then went to the desktop and opened the Mail program, you could paste that text into the input field and it would be back translated into computer Braille or ASCII. It works the other way as well. If you're in a text file or if you copy anything textual onto the clipboard, when you paste, it will look at what the prompt is set to, whether it's computer Braille or literary grade 2 Braille, whether it's a text file or a Braille file, and it will paste it appropriately. So the first thing we'll do is demonstrate copying from the editor and pasting into the calculator. So I'll do a current line.
15*3.
15*3 or 15 times 3. Now because no mark is set, and we can check that with Whchord.
At line 5, in note 190.txt.
Because no mark is set, if we do Ctrl-C here, it will copy the entire line. So I'll do that now. Dots 7 and 8 with C.
Copied 5 characters.
You heard it say copied 5 characters. There was a slight delay because it's also making sure that this is available to the desktop. Now what we're going to do is to go into the calculator.
Options menu : opened.
Options menu with O chord, C for calculator.
Calculate expression. Expression.
I just did current line and the expression is blank. I'll do Control V for paste. Dot 7 and 8 with V.
5 characters pasted.
And now we'll do a C chord to read the current line.
Expression 15*3.
And if I hit enter, we should hear the answer.
Result: 45.
So it's that easy to cut and paste across different apps on the traditional side. Now let's go to the desktop.
Desktop mode. Actual document viewer.
Now I'm just going to do space with R for run.
Left Alt. Run application dialog. Select an application to view its description. Editable combo box. Editable combo box.
And I'll type in mousepad.
Text
and
unselected.
Enter.
Return. Untitled 2-mousepad frame. Text. Type in text.
We're now in an edit field. I can move by character and we hear the noise. So
Text.
current line just says text. So now if I do Control V, V with dots 7, 8.
Untitled 2-mousepad. Pasted contents from clipboard.
Okay, let's read current line.
15*3.
And 15*3. So it's that simple. You Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and you can use Control X to cut as well. If your content is Braille content, when you go to the desktop and you do Control V, it will back translate your text. So now we'll do a demo of cut, copy, paste, and delete in the BT Speak editor. And just a reminder that if you prefer, you can use D chord in the editor to find all the delete, cut, copy, paste, and mark operations. And you can use P chord in the editor for the paste menu, and that will let you paste the clipboard as well as the output from many other BT Speak apps. Let's start by creating a new quick text note.
Editor menu : opened.
T for text note.
Quick enter name left paren default is note 186 right paren.
And we'll press enter to accept that name.
Note 1 new line.
And now we're at the end of the file. We'll just check that with WH chord.
At line 3, in note 186.txt.
Now what I want to do is to delete all the text in this note so that we have a nice clean file for this demonstration. So I'm going to start by doing select all, which is Control with A. That's dot 7 and 8 and A.
Select all.
Now what select all has done is put a mark at the top of the file and it's moved the cursor to the bottom of the file. Let's just check that with WH chord.
Mark is 2 lines above. Cursor at line 3, in note 186.txt.
And we could cut this with Control X or we could copy it with Control C, but in this instance we're going to delete the text with Control D, dot 7 and 8 with D.
Deleted 39 characters.
And 39 characters.
At line 1, in note 186.txt.
And we're back at the top of the file, the first character of the file on line 1. So I'll type in a couple of lines of text which we'll use for these demonstrations.
Line
1. I'll press enter.
New line 1.
Line 2.
New line 2. Line
3.
New line 3. At line 4, in note 186.txt.
So we're at the bottom of these lines.
Top of file.
Now what I'd like to explain to you about the BT Speak editor is that it does allow selections using the mark and your cursor position, the distance between those two, but it also has default selection of lines when no mark is set. So if we go to top of file,
line 1,
and we're on line 1, if I were to cut this line with Control X, all I need to do is Control X.
Cut 7 characters.
Cut 7 characters. If I read current line now,
line 2.
We've got line 2. If I move down to line 3 with the down arrow,
line 3.
Space with dots 4. If I paste now,
pasted 7 characters.
We'll now go to the top of the file.
Top of file.
And now we should have line 2, line 1, and line 3. Let's check if that's what's happened.
Line 2.
Line 2.
Line 1.
Line 1.
Line 3.
Line 3. Excellent. Now another thing I can show you in the editor is that there is an undo command as well. So if I do Control with Z, the same as in Windows.
Undid paste.
That undid the paste. If I do it again.
Undid cut.
And it undid the cut. Now a thing to bear in mind about undo and redo is that the information is only kept available until you do a deep escape. So if you do a deep escape to get back to the editor from the menus, you will lose your undo history. So let's now go to the top of the file.
Top of file.
And we'll just check that the lines are in the order we expect, which I think should be
Line 1.
line 1,
Line 2.
line 2,
Line 3.
and line 3. So we're back where we started. So these line-based operations only happen when you don't have a mark set. And a line is defined by any string of characters finishing with a new line character. So that could be an entire paragraph. Now let's look at how marking and creating a selection works.
Top of file.
So we're at the top of the file, and let's drop a mark here with mchord. You can also use mchord with .8.
Mark set.
So we're going to move by word. We're currently at the start of the document.
Top of file.
And we'll move by word with space and .5.
1.
So we've moved past the word line, and we're just ahead of the digit 1.
1.
Current character tells me that we're on 1. So we can do WH chord to check where the mark is in relation to our cursor. In other words, what text is selected.
Mark 5 characters to left. Cursor at line 1, column 6, in note 186.txt.
So the mark is 5 characters to the left. So if we wanted to copy this word, the word line, and its space, we can do Control-C, dots 7 and 8 with C.
Copied 5 characters. Top of file.
So we now have
Line 1.
line 1,
Line 2.
line 2. Now if we paste here with Control-V,
Pasted 5 characters.
we've pasted 5 characters. This line now should say line 2.
Line 2.
So that's the basics of cut, copy, and paste. But now I want to show you how this works when we go from a text file to a Braille file. So we'll go to the top of this file with dots 1, 2, 3 chord.
Top of file.
We'll select all with Control-A.
Select all.
We will copy the selection with Control-C.
Copied 26 characters.
And now we will open a Braille quick note, E-chord.
Editor menu colon. Quick break. Enter name left paren default is note 187 right paren, colon. Note 1 new line.
Okay, so we're in a new note and we're on line 3 probably.
At line 3, in note 187.brl.
And now we're going to use Control-V to paste.
Pasted 25 characters.
Now we'll go to the top of the file.
Top of file. Line 1.
Okay, so now let's check that this is actually Braille. So we'll do current character with dots 3, 6 chord.
L.
And space with dot 6 to go to the next character.
Low dash I.
Low dash I, in other words, that's lower I or IN.
E.
E.
Space. Number sign. A.
And number sign A for 1. So the paste has automatically created a Braille file. So we're going to type in a couple of words in Braille.
New line.
Dot 6, BL,
Blind.
P for people,
People.
ARE,
R.
very,
Very.
INTERESTED,
Interested.
in,
In.
sound.
Blind people are very interested in sound.
Let's go to the start of this line.
Dot 6.
Now, if we want to copy this line into a text file, we can just do Control-C, dot 7 and 8 with C,
Copied 24 characters.
J chord,
File number.
and backspace to go to the previous file.
Note 186.txt. File 2 of 3.
That was the text file we were in, and we'll just go to the end here,
End of file.
and we will now do a paste with Control-V.
Pasted 42 characters. Blind people are very interested in sound.
And it's back translated from Braille to print. We'll just check that. Start of
Cat B.
line.
LINT space PEOPLE.
And so forth. Cut to end of file facility. Now in this file I have a line of text.
Blind people are always listening to audio.
And I just want to delete this text. I basically want to delete from my cursor to the end of file. Now you may recall that to go to the end of the file is space with dots 4, 5, 6. So this command's quite easy to remember. It's space 4, 5, 6 with dot 7. So I'm going to do that now.
Cut 30 characters.
And that cuts to the end of the file, and you can still paste it, and of course you can still undo if you need to restore it. Now the current line
Blank.
is blank. So that's a quick overview of using the editor with cut, copy, paste, and delete.